Yo guys, it is Samool back again with another Shujipul video for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about Iseria and Vivian's banner, which are going to be replacing Ada's and Celine's banner in 2 hours. Which, by the way, if you guys don't know if you guys should be pulling for Ada and Celine, make sure you check out my last Shujipul video where I talk about both of those banners and their artifacts and if they're worth pulling for. Now, Vivian and Iseria's banner are coming out, and it's perfect timing because Iseria's side story is running, and Vivian has a new skin coming out, which if you guys didn't know about, you guys should check out my last video I released, which talks about the entire update that's happening in the next few weeks. It is a huge update. There's a lot of major changes happening. There's some very nice changes that I think a lot of newer players will like, and it's a 1.5 hour live stream actually that they broadcasted, but I condensed it down into a 10-minute video for you guys. And for example, what's happening, if you guys really want like Tamarin, like Seaside Bologna, or like Landy, and they're like way off of their timing for the banners, you don't have to worry actually, because they're adding a system where after you complete episode 1, you guys can actually maybe pull for them. If you guys are interested in that, make sure you check out my last video to learn more about the details about that. And yeah, if you guys aren't already subscribed to my channel, guys, make sure you guys subscribe, because we're releasing bangers all the time, whether it be, you know, Shujipul videos or guides, or even patch updates like this, which have huge changes. You guys can get the updates very quickly from my channel as well, because I try to release it right away. And yeah, also we've been live streaming as well. We've been playing some RTA and also playing on my 3-star free-to-play account, which is very, very fun. So I really hope to see you guys in my live streams and in my future videos as well. So that being said, guys, I know it's a long intro, but let's get into the video. Is it worth pulling for Iseria and Vivian, guys, and the artifacts? Let's talk about that. So starting off with the first unit, guys, Vivian. So Vivian is a very, very strong PvE unit, as you guys probably already know. PvP, she's not really used as much anymore, but she's extremely strong in PvE right now for Banshee one-shot. The only reason why she's not used in PvP anymore is because of the meta. Basically, there's a lot of strips, and you're going to see she has a lot of buffs, and Vivian can't speed contest anymore like that because she requires some other stats to be useful rather than speed. So yeah, PvE very, very good in Banshee one-shot, guys. Even used in general purpose PvE if you're lacking an attack buffer, because if we look at her S3 here, guys, she has immunity buff for 3 turns, and attack buff, which is perfect for Banshee one-shot, because 3-turn attack buffs are the best for units like Baiken, if you're using Baiken, who's the best one-shotter in the game for Banshee. And immunity is very, very nice because you will prevent the boss from blinding your units, which can reduce the win rate of your team. Reason why 3-turn attack buff is good though for Baiken is because Baiken has a 2-turn one-shot. Some other units do as well. If that's the case, you want 3-turn attack buff rather than 2, so that way you have attack buff benefit for all of your turns, because while you're walking from the first wave to the boss, you're going to lose 1 turn of your buff. Greater attack buff for herself as well, which is very insane for Banshee one-shot, because that makes it so that you can actually use her as an attack buffer and a wave 1 one-shotter. Now, how does she wave 1 one-shot? Well, she has her S2, which is an AoE attack. And you're going to see that this AoE attack when you kill an enemy will proc again up to 3 times, and this does a lot of damage. Now, her S1 is going to be her single target attack, which will CR push herself. Makes her a very good turn cycler in PvE because you can turn cycle and try to get up your attack buff again for your team. So yeah, general purpose PvE, very strong. You can use her in Asmonak, you can use her in Raid, especially anywhere you're lacking an attack buffer, you can slot in Vivian. She can do AoE damage and attack buff to your team. Also, Banshee one-shot, she's a very, very good attack buffer. Actually, the best attack buffer for Banshee one-shot. And you can actually use her as a wave 1 one-shotter as well together. If you use the exclusive equipment, that will boost her CR, the second one, by 50% when using her S3. Very good because you can speed turn her to S3, attack buff, she can cut your team, and then S2 right after to one-shot the first wave. Now, if you're using her in general purpose PvE, you might want to use the other exclusive equipments. You have one that will boost her CR even more when you use your S1, which is really nice, and one that can also cleanse 1 debuff from your allies when you S3, which is very nice in bosses that have a lot of debuffs. So yeah, Vivian, guys, you can use her as a Banshee one-shot unit, you can use her in general purpose PvE. I personally think she's the best attack buffer for Banshee, and I personally don't use her as a wave 1 one-shotter. You can actually use her as a attack buffer solely and use a different unit for your wave 1 one-shotter. It will lessen the gear requirements, but if you want to just use Vivian as your attack buffer and your wave 1 one-shotter, you can actually run a 3-man team where you can start running Fodder, Phantasma, and also units that you need to build friendship with to farm, and you can use her like that, and you can just run a Banshee 3-man team. Now, this is very, very important to pull for if you guys are lacking your Banshee one-shot team, because we have Baiken's banner running soon, meaning you can pull Vivian and Baiken together, and all you're lacking as your last piece for your Banshee one-shot team is a very easy to pull unit, Leo, or even Shadow Rose, or even Free Spirit Terraria as your defense breaker. If you have Free Spirit Terraria, Baiken, and Vivian on your Banshee one-shot team, your Banshee one-shot team is done. All you're lacking is gear that you can farm from Wyvern. So that being said, guys, Banshee one-shot team, if you don't have that built yet and you're lacking a good attack buffer, or you want to upgrade your attack buffer, I think Vivian is the best choice and she's a must pull. Also, if you do that, you can also use her in general purpose PvE because like I said, if you don't have an attack buffer for general purpose PvE like Raid or Azumnak 13, you can just slot in Vivian and she's very, very good. She does decent damage as well. Now, let's talk about the next unit, Iseria. So, Iseria is another Earth unit, very strong in general purpose PvE, not really used in PvP at all, but let's talk about her skills. Her S3 is a single target attack that has a strip, 100% chance, will also 100% chance decrease defense and give unbuffable. This makes it so that she's very strong in bosses that have a lot of buffs, namely Azumnak 13, you can stop the boss from buffing, while stripping the boss, and also Hell Queen as well. Now this is really good because not only do you strip all the buffs from the boss, such as Berserk or Greater Attack buff or whatever buff they're using, but also you have 2 turns of Grace where you don't have to worry about the buff sticking because you land that unbuffable, and also you defense break the boss, making it so that you do more damage to them. So there's a crazy dispeller and crazy defense breaker just from her S3, which makes her very, very strong. Next we have her S2, which is a very, very unique skill. You're going to see that this resets the skill cooldown of an ally except for herself and grants an extra turn. This is mostly going to be paired with like Tamarin because Tamarin's S3, her idol form, which makes her super broken, is going to start on cooldown, and if you have a Iseria S2er, it will just refresh the cooldown right away. Also, if you turn skills off for other units besides Iseria and Tamarin while you're autoing, Iseria will only S2 Tamarin, so you can basically have permanent idol form even while autoing PvE content. Her S1 is a general single target attack that has a 50% chance to decrease defense, but it is a 2-turn defense break, so it's very, very strong. One of the best defense breaking S1s in the game. She's also a ranger, so she can hold very strong artifacts for PvE like Sasha Thanes, she can hold Infinity Basket, she can hold Song of Stars as well, and even Miss Confile for the extra defense break chance on her S1. So Iseria, very, very powerful unit for PvE. You don't really ever use her in PvP, although some people try to make her work, but I don't really see her as a PvP unit. I think Iseria is actually a must-pull unit for newer players, so no matter what, if you don't have Iseria, guys, I really recommend pulling for her. I think generally she's going to be better than Vivian overall, but I think if you're lacking a Banshee one-shot team, you might want to prioritize Vivian over Iseria, because although Iseria is very strong overall in PvE, she's somewhat replaceable kind of. Vivian is a very strong Banshee one-shotter, but if you're lacking both, you know, you might want to spend some bookmarks this banner because both units are very good. The only thing is to keep in mind that because both banners are very strong, probably what's going to happen is they're going to release another limited unit or collab unit in the future. So if you're worried about that, you can save your bookmarks because honestly, both these units are very powerful, but it doesn't mean that you cannot progress without them. That being said, let's talk about both of these units' artifacts and if they're worth buying with Powder of Knowledge. So first, let's talk about Vivian's artifact, Dignus Orb. So this artifact is going to give a barrier to a mage when you use a non-attack skill and also increase the damage of your next attack. This is only really ever going to be used on units like Vivian herself for PvP and even top model Ludica for both PvP and PvE. So Dignus Orb used to be very strong, especially when top model Ludica was a very powerful unit, but you don't really see either Vivian or top model Ludica in PvP nowadays. So honestly, long story short guys, this artifact is an easy skip. You're not going to really use it. Unless you really love using top model Ludica and Vivian in PvP, I don't really recommend using this because this artifact also doesn't have that much usage in PvE. The only area I see this used in PvE is like Katie's on top model Ludica, but yeah, they're better options for Katie's anyways for the DPS slot, and also top model Ludica's an ML5 star, so the chances of you pulling her are very, very low. So yeah, this artifact, easy skip guys. You might want to save your powder on this one and pull the other artifact, which is a very good artifact, and that is going to be Song of Stars, which we'll look at right now. And now we have the last artifact running alongside Iseria, Song of Stars. So Song of Stars, very, very powerful artifact, guys. You guys probably heard me talk about this a lot, but this artifact is super strong for Wyvern 13 because you can slap this on your Furious, and it's a chance to proc on your S1 and S3 because both of them are considered single target attacks. If you plus 15 this goes to 75% chance, which is very, very good, and it's a 2-turn debuff, which makes it so that Wyvern will have more debuff sticking on him. Also, Wyvern will take more damage because target debuff makes you take 10% more damage, making it so you can break through the barrier phase pretty easily. And yeah, this basically gives Furious 3 debuffs in just one unit, so very, very strong. Also, outside of Wyvern, very good. You can use it in one-shot teams like Hades, Azumnak, Banshee, because like I said, the target debuff adds 10% damage, and this really, really benefits Strays and Watcher Shuri if you're using them for one-shotters, because they have full defense penetration skills in their S3, and that doesn't work with defense break, but target debuff will work. So this will increase Strays and Watcher Shuri's damage where defense break can't. So Song of Stars, even though you don't need it for your Wyvern one shot or your Wyvern team in general, even if you are running a decently high win rate team, just by adding Song of Stars, you'll increase the speed first and foremost, and also increase the win rate by a little bit more, because Song of Stars is very, very reliable as a defense, not a defense break, but a debuff as an artifact. So very, very strong. I really recommend buying this, guys. 240 powder is definitely worth it for Song of Stars, because this artifact is super, super broken for Wyvern and other hunts as well. So yeah, just to recap, guys, Iseria and Vivian, both very powerful units. I think Vivian is worth pulling for if you are lacking a good Banshee one-shot team. She is the keystone in your team comp. You can run Vivian. Also, Baiken's banner comes out soon, so you can pull for Baiken. So if you have Vivian, Baiken, basically all you need after that is free Spiriteria or Leo, and you're good to go. And for Iseria, very, very powerful general purpose PvE unit. You can use her in Asmonak, Hellraid, basically everywhere. If you have Tamarin, she's very, very powerful combined with Tamarin. And Iseria is basically one of my must-pull units for new players anyway, so I really recommend pulling for her. Artifacts, guys, Dignus Orb, easy skip, not worth buying from the powder shop. Yeah, just not used as much anymore. And Song of Stars, one of the best artifacts, especially for early mid-game players in the game for PvE, so I really, really recommend buying that one. Now, as always, guys, I hope this video helped you guys out, and if you guys want to see more of these strategy pool videos, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.